the topic is cameras. What can you do with them? Normally you have a camera that is locked, it's sitting still at a certain angle, and it's not moving. That's usually what you need, but I want to have some animation in it, and I'm just going to tell you how to do that. Now you have 4 views in Cinema 4D, and all of them are editor cameras. There's no cameras in here. So first thing I'm going to do is pick the viewport where you want your animation in, or your camera in. Of course it's going to be the perspective view. So I'm just going to introduce the camera. I'm not looking through it right now because you first have to hit this little icon here, which tells you I'm looking through this camera. Now there's going to be multiple cameras in this animation, in this work file, and this is my first one, and you can see that Brad is moving out of shot. First thing I want to do is follow Brad. Now Brad is not bobbing up and down, so there's no big issues with the background shaking when it's animated. So I'm just going to copy this camera by holding down the control and dragging it down in the object manager. I'm going to rename it C2, and I'm going to place this camera right in between Brad and the FFD object. It's not going to do anything to the FFD object, it's just going to sit in the hierarchy and going to follow Brad. So first I've had to click that little icon, and now it's following Brad. Now this is still pretty boring, but I can do lots of stuff to the camera to make it more interesting. For instance, why doesn't the camera roll around Brad while he's walking? Now I have to introduce a null object, and I'll move it up a little bit so that it basically sits in the middle of Brad. There's a different way to do this, but I'm just showing you this method, and I'm just going to call it Dolly, and I'm going to copy the first camera again, drop it into Dolly, rename it C3, and I'm going to look through it, and then I'm going to hook that up to Brad as well. Now normally you would just say this, there's no effect, same as camera 2, but I'm going to keyframe it. I'm going to turn the camera, and I'm going to use the H, or the heading rotation axis, and let's give it a keyframe right here and go to the end of my animation, and then roll it around like that, for instance up to here, and give it another keyframe. So I get something like this. It's more interesting, and Brad is being followed by the camera, and it rolls around. Now you can see all the white lines here or all the other cameras. Now that can be kind of confusing, so just to make sure that they're not visible in the editor, it doesn't really matter if they're visible in the editor because they're not rendered, I'm going to make the top of the 2 traffic lights, that's what I call them, a red dot. That's basically making them invisible in the editor. And I'm going to do that to C1 as well. And now if I go to F5, my system is running really slow, but you can see that there's only one camera left that is visible. So it's a neat trick to just make things invisible or visible whenever you want it. There's more stuff to it. Let's see if we can have a camera. I'll just copy a camera and make that C4, very explosive camera. Make it visible, make the C3 invisible, and look through C4. Now this camera is sitting still. What I want to do is follow Brad, but leave the camera in the spot where it is. So let's see, I'm just going to keyframe the H and the pitch. The pitch is how it's tilted up or down, and I'm going to go to the final frame and then roll the camera And you see that the pitch needs a little bit of work because I'm not going to put it dead center. I'm just going to put it over there. And roll this camera up like that. And give it both a keyframe and turn back the camera. Am I looking through it? Yes. Go to F1 and just see how it does. Oh, it's way too slow at the beginning. Right. Let's go to the timeline. Shift F3, and I don't need all this stuff. I'm just gonna switch off automatic mode. That means that in automatic mode, anything that is animated will appear here in the left margin. And I'm just gonna drag the camera in, and I'll just get the rotation animation tracks of the camera. And basically what I've got now is the default spline with the ease out and the ease in. And what I'm going to do, I just hit H to get the animation curves centered. Make this tangent handle really short, so the ease out at the beginning is short. Let's do it with the pitch as well. Let's see if that works. No, still not fast enough. So it needs to have a really slow ease in with the final keyframe. So I'm just going to select this and crank this up. So what's happening here in this animation is that there's a very short ease out and then a very slow ease in towards the other keyframe. I'm going to do the same thing to the P, to the pitch. I'm just going to crank this up. Now let's see what we got. I'm just going to minimize this because otherwise I have to click through it. Now the only thing that's not right is that Brad is moving a little bit too fast, so the turn in the H should be even sharper. I'm just gonna crank this even more, and the P, it should be a little bit longer, I think. Let's see. I'm losing Brad's feet. So maybe introduce another keyframe. Maybe. Let's see where it should be at. Here is where I lose Brad's feet. It should actually go lower. Why don't I maximize this and move this up a little bit, so, and just go like this. Still not good enough. Let's see what it does. It's actually okay. The position of the camera is a little bit high. So if I go down here and I don't have to animate it, but just move the camera down, maybe that will help. Well, there you go. So that's the basics of setting up a camera animation by just adding keyframes, hooking it up in a hierarchy, and just having a still camera view. Now, what you do before you render is obviously select the camera that you want to render, and then go through the render settings, see if you can set this correctly, like manual, and there's like 88 frames, so rendering from 0 to 88, and save it. And what I do is normally I would say Brad block and then put in the camera. Should do this now. That's correct, not a question mark. Which camera is it? C4. So just put in C4 and render it like that. So you save this, you save multiple work files. You save it as, and I would just do, copy the name here, like this, and just save it like that. So you get multiple work files and they will all have a different output name. It's really important, otherwise you will overwrite everything you've done previously. And basically that's it. So keep in mind, name your shots, name them, and make separate work files. That works.